I gotta say, this has been an excellent year for devices. A lot of things have come out or have been remade, and just overall, the concentrate game has improved, especially for people on the go with devices. And we have a new thing that I'm going to talk about today. The Dr. Dabber Switch 2 just dropped today, but I have been testing this out for a few days here. I haven't been testing it live on my Twitch stream where I do most of my testing. You should definitely check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Cewpins. But I have been testing this offline because I got it early and they asked me not to show it before it released. Well, it released today and I'm going to talk about it, give you my first impression of the device. And then I'm also in the future going to post a full review after I've got a lot more experience with it. Because like I said, I've only been using it for a few days, so I don't want you to think this is my full review. But we've got the Dr. Dabber Switch 2. I think that's an interesting choice of the name, right? You got the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out, I think. But they called the original one the Switch, I believe, because you could switch between flour and concentrate. And I think, I haven't seen anything about flour, but I think this is just for concentrate. So I'm not sure why they call it the Switch again, unless I missed something or they're maybe dropping flour attachments or something in the future. But it's a very interesting device. It's big. We can't get around it. It's big, and it looks like a coffee maker or a Keurig or something like that. I don't know what it is with these devices coming out lately looking like coffee makers, but maybe the AI robots aren't going to think that this is they're not going to think it is what it is. So I want to talk about a few things. Like, I guess I can read the features on the back. They got a 20mm quartz cup, 100% pure quartz insert. I think they have a sapphire option you can get. App enabled, which I believe there's an actual iPhone app, and then there's a web app for Android, unless I'm mistaken about the iPhone. I'll talk about it in a little bit. An IR sensor says most accurate temp monitoring available. Omnidirectional heating, full surface area heating, no cold spots. They use induction heating like they did with the first Switch. It's not like heated ceramic chambers that have like a coil wrapped around it. It is a different way to heat the atomizers than a lot of e-rigs, so that is interesting. Dynamic heating mode, emulate a real quartz banger experience. Now, I've seen or read about this, but I haven't actually got to use it yet. And the Dr. Dabber Drop, it comes with a heated dab tool, which I guess this is the new standard for tools. I'm not a fan of heated dab tools. I feel like they're very situational, and I'm almost never in that situation. And this one is a little bit goofy to use. You got to like click it 5 times, then you got to double click it to let go. I was sitting here when I was testing it for like 45 seconds with the dab on the tool, like let go, get off, and I finally just wiped it on the inside. I figured it out later, but I don't like the heated dab tools in general. So let's talk about this thing, because it's strange. So my first impressions are why it's so big, but when you consider how big the OG Switch is, this is like half the size. It's way smaller. They've reduced the size by like, I don't know, 50%. The glass is strange, all right? There's a little hole on the face of the glass that meets the airway here. I'm not sure what the glass options are going to look like in the future, but it's a very specific size piece that wedges in here. So I don't know what it's going to look like for a third-party market or what else they're going to drop, because it seems a little bit strange. But it has this magnetic joystick type cap or directional cap, and I don't love it. I gotta say off the bat, I don't love this cap, because my natural instinct is to put one finger on the top and do this, but when you put one finger on the top, you cover the air hole for it. Other joystick caps, the airflow comes through under the cap, part of the glass. This is right on top. I feel like they could give this another look. That's not the best way to do it. You gotta 2-finger it like this. It feels weird. The glass slides in there a little bit strange. This piece comes off, which I guess protects the little chamber area. This isn't hot, so I'm just gonna pull this out. I use the tweezers that they gave me. They give you a set of tweezers so you can pull the cap out. You shouldn't really be handling the quartz cup while it's hot. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Yeah, you shouldn't be handling it. I've done several dabs off of here, been wiping it. They recommend ISO wiping it in between each use, which seems a little bit strange to me. The chamber sits in there and it moves around a little bit while you're wiping it. It's different, right? A lot of the other e-rigs out there are just clones of the Peak. They just figured out how to put a glass attachment on top of a battery that goes to an atomizer that's heated ceramic that has metal coils. This is using different technology. We're using electromagnetic waves here. We got an induction chamber here and a magnetic sealed cap that gives you a different style of heating, which is going to be more accurate. And they say, like, no cold spots. You're going to be able to distribute the heat more even than you are with some other options. But does that matter? Does that matter? It's good for the most part. But I guess in practice here, I'm not able to use this device as intended. It has 5 temperature settings built in, right? I can turn it on here. There's that power switch on the back, which I think it auto offs after 15 minutes. They call it a switch because you turn it on with the switch, I guess, not because you can switch between flour and concentrate. But it has some, it has the different settings here. Let me see if I can pull up the defaults because I just was looking at it on my phone here. The defaults are good enough on most devices. It's, what's the lowest one is? Purple is 400, and then you have blue at 440, and then you have cyan at 480. Those are all 40-degree increases. But then we have a 20-degree increase, which is supposed to be, it says orange is 500. That looked yellow to me. And then white is supposed to be 540. Was the orange yellow? It's 100% yellow, but they're showing like an orange dot in here that's the color of like an orange fruit. So there's a 20-degree increase from cyan to orange, and then another 40-degree increase. 400 to 540 are the defaults. And the default hit is 30 seconds, which I'm not a fan of. I think it should be at least 45 seconds or so, maybe a minute. And what I don't like here is as soon as I use this early, like I said, as soon as I connected the app to it, I had to update the firmware. Like, I'm like, it's not even out yet. How does it need a firmware update? And then after I updated the firmware, it said, all right, we've got another firmware update. And it never updates. It doesn't do the second one. I've restarted my phone several times. I've restarted the device. I cannot use the app. And with the app, you can change the colors. You can change the time. The default's 30, but I would like to make it longer. You can precisely lock in the temperature, and you can use that dynamic dabbing feature that they mentioned on there, where you can make your chamber lose heat over time like a banger would, or you can make it increase with heat over time, or you can make it stay steady, which not a lot of e-rigs have options like that. I was like, oh, that's very cool. I cannot wait to test it out. I can't test it out. What are we doing? It dropped today. It needed an update before it dropped. It needed multiple updates, and I can't get through the update. It stays stuck on 0%. So I don't love that there's an app involved with it that gives you a huge world of function that I can't access. I don't know. I don't like the apps. I didn't love that the Carta 2 had a screen on it and you could do everything from there. But that actually, in hindsight, it's better than being able to, or having an app that you're not able to use. So a little bit strange there. I don't love that there's an app that unlocks all of the features that I can't use. Because, I mean, out of the box, it's like, it basically just, it does 5 temperatures at one time, and then I can't change the colors. And hear me out. I got to tell you, because I don't think I've mentioned this yet, the price point on this, I was shocked by. I made it a point not to use it before, or excuse me, I made it a point not to know the price while I was using it because I wanted to guess, right? I was like, oh man, they're probably going to try to charge $250, $300 because they're including the hot knife tool. They probably want $300 for this bad boy. They want $420. They want $420, which that's the price of the Peak, which is the gold standard of electronic devices at the moment. They want $420. It comes with a tool. From what I can do now, I can't even use it fully with all the features or connect to the app. It does give you pretty decent hits. Pretty decent hits. That chamber is huge. It looks like you could put a gram or so in there, which it's not really super necessary to be able to do a gram dab with an e-rig, but it's huge. Like, you're not putting this bad boy in your pocket unless you're wearing Jinkos or something. Like, maybe this can sit on your countertop or something, but it's not portable like a lot of the other e-rig options are. It's not something you're going to take with you. So I don't know if I love it at the current price point and the function that I can use, if I'm able to get the app working and the dynamic, what do they call it? What do they call it? Dynamic heating modes. If the dynamic heating modes unlock a whole new world of hits for me, that could change my opinion on it. But I'm a little disappointed in the size. It's so huge. I'm very disappointed that the app doesn't work on launch. It didn't work. I couldn't use it before. I can't do any of the cool features. So I just have 30-second hits at 5 different temperatures, and that's all I've got. Either way, I'm going to be using this a bunch on my Twitch stream. Come check out the Twitch. If you want more info on this, type !Switch2 in my Twitch or Discord. I'll have some links or info over there. I don't think I have a discount for this yet. And I'm going to post a short of me hitting this. So I'm going to link that short here, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to see how it rips. I'm omitting that from this video, though, so hopefully they don't ding it. But appreciate you watching, and have a lit day, my dudes.